and welcome to Of the People. I'm Robert Chernin.
And I'm Ericka Redic.
And we are back for yet another episode of news, politics, and our large, Ericka.
Large.
You didn't say huge, thank you. Dose of irreverence. And the irreverence is the fun part. How are you today?
You know, I'm doing okay. Robert. I always feel a little nervous, trepidation. Like,
I have that effect on people.
You do? Well, I'm doing okay, right? I'm doing okay, personally. Things are good. Life is great. I got an awesome husband, great marriage, a roof over my head, food in my belly.
Okay.
But there's always the like caveat that the world feels like it's ending a little bit more today than it was yesterday.
We're going to get to the world ending in the second segment. But before, I have a personal question because I was concerned about you. I know you were going off coffee for a while. How's that working for you? Because you're like Mrs. Energy, so I want to see the difference without the coffee.
I think that in the end, I am going to have a lot more energy. I was very sluggish last week. And then I'd gone about 5 days, I think, without coffee or anything.
Ouch.
And yeah, and I was doing okay. I was definitely detoxing. Okay. I was feeling it physically. And then I think it was Friday. Was it Friday? I went and got a cup of coffee because we'd been up really late and then we were going to be up late again. And I was like, I need some help. Okay. And so I went and I got a cup of coffee, and within not very long, within a few minutes, it was freaking on. I'm like, oh, what? I'm like Randy Savage. What are we gonna do today? Okay, I'm ready. Okay, you're not doing that fast enough. You need to hurry up. I'm like starting fights with my husband. I'm feeling like an anxiety, and I'm going, oh my God, is this what coffee does to me? Is this why I'm like a crazy, like spaz all the time? So interestingly enough, I've been a lot calmer the last week or so. But yeah, I definitely felt like crap after I drank that cup of coffee. So definitely still moving toward being a non-caffeine drinker.
Well, I was going to suggest to you, because last show we were talking about the Budweiser controversy. And I know there's certain things I'm not allowed to say, so I won't say them, but I will say you could always have a beer instead of coffee. I'm not sure it'll have the same effect because now, wait, there is justice in the world. I forget her name, but the marketing person at Budweiser who did the whole LGBTQ Mulvaney Dillon endorsement thing is now gainfully on leave / unemployed. You don't think it could have been something to do with the, hey, we just lost $6 billion in our market cap, do you?
Well, I think, it always surprises me when corporations or the people who lead corporations go out of their way to insult their customer base. You can be all for changing your image and, wanting to appeal to a different demographic and increasing your market share. But when you call them fratty and other things that are intended to be derogatory, don't be surprised when they go find a different product to consume. That's all I'm saying. The stats show that other beer companies are picking up market share. All I can say is, way to go, Budweiser. So, look, I want to start with last show we started WTO, which is Where's the Outrage, which from some of the feedback I got was received pretty well. So, because there's so much of it, you don't know where to start. But I tell you one place I want to start, because we're going to start with Where's the Outrage. And I don't know if our listeners know this, but effective the first of the next month, right? The federal government is going to charge better borrowers more money and more interest to do what? Wait for it. Subsidize people with worse credit and low income borrowers. Now, look, everyone should deserve a hand up, but basically, I mean, Where's the Outrage doesn't even begin to describe this to me, because, it's that old thing that I used to
talk with my kids about, where they used to say, well, it's not fair, because I did all the, the work and so-and-so got the grade. It's like, well, wait a minute. And I used to say to one or two of my children, I don't want to name them, but used to basically say, so let me see if I got this right. So you did all the work, you get the better grade, and you feel bad for your friend, which is good. But if they didn't do the work, how about if, so you got an A, they got a C, why don't you guys both get a B? And her response,
were they into that?
Their response was no. Their response was, well, wait a minute, but I did all the work. So it's the same thing here with the mortgage company, right? So the FHA is basically going to charge you if you have over 680 in credit score. And if this isn't heightened socialism, I mean, it's just one more example of, hey, there's nothing wrong with wealth. We just want to spread it around a little bit. I mean, where's the outrage? And most people don't know it's coming. Folks, it's coming.
Well, and this is the thing. It's $40 a month. Okay, so if you have a 680 credit score, which is not like the best credit score. 680, I think, is good credit, right? 630 is like fair or something like that. So we're talking about the average, we're literally talking about the average American is now going to be paying $40 extra per month to subsidize somebody with a lesser credit score than them. And they're not even.
Can we change the word subsidize? We're not subsidizing. We're being penalized.
They're not even being subtle about it. They're calling this wealth redistribution. They are literally saying that this is to take money out of people who are better off and giving it to people who are worse off. But it could even be, that might not even matter. What if you have bad credit, but you're rich? What if you have good credit, but you're poor?
I'm not sure how that one works. Wait a minute. How does someone, first of all, we have to define sort of rich, but which I don't want to get into because we can't define what a woman or a man is. So I'm not sure we can define what rich or poor is. But if you have all this money, then why would you have bad credit? And I don't even want to go down that slippery slope.
Trust me, as an accountant, Robert, as a person who literally, trust me, it's possible. I'm sorry for interrupting. But okay. If you're rich, how can you have bad credit? Keep going.
Well, it still comes down to the fact that, once again, because the new mantra for the federal government, certainly under the Biden administration, but you could argue it certainly goes back to Obama and before that, is the mantra is, we're going to take, this is like Robin Hood on steroids, except it's the government who's basically, because the adage is you cannot give to someone the government what they haven't first taken from someone else. Right? I mean, it's a very simple equation here. And I mean, I've seen ass backwards before. I've never seen it like this because, I mean, does no one remember the 2008 mortgage loan crisis at Fannie and Freddie?
No.
When Lehman Brothers went out of business, because what did they do? They had all these loans to low-income borrowers who couldn't pay it back. So we're trying it again.
Yes, because everyone was born yesterday, including apparently the administration, even though they've been in office for 50 years. Robert, it's the same old trick. It's the same old dog and pony show. These people don't have new ideas. They are not creative. They don't create anything. They only take things. And that, I think, I want to reiterate something that you said that was so important, Robert. You can't give something to somebody that doesn't already exist, I think is how you said it.
No, what I said is the government can't give to someone something they haven't taken from someone else first. And they have no money.
They don't earn anything. They don't create any. Okay, people, America. Okay, when you say, "Oh, the government's gonna do it," the government does not create anything. They don't earn anything. They only take money out of your pocket to put in theirs. And then if they're feeling a little generous, they might dole a little bit out to the peasants. Okay.
Yeah. But wait a minute. So I have a theory here.
Okay.
And because to me, this is not only egregious, and we can argue unfair, who's defining the word fair. I mean, I get all that, but I have a theory here. this is so nakedly anti-American, anti-meritocracy, anti-capitalism, pro-socialism, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want. Because I'm not going to talk about the extreme right or extreme left. Let's talk about mainstream America. And there are some on the left and there are some on the right. And I still believe that's the majority of America. How does America not be outraged at this? And the theory I have is it's all about the packaging. When you look at who's in charge, right? Because you have President Biden, who's 80. He's been in office 50 years, half a century. You have Nancy Pelosi, who is older than dirt and has probably been in office longer. Steny Hoyer, Chuck Schumer, Clyburn, all of these older politicians that give this veneer of, what would the word be, of reasonableness. All the while, the agenda is being driven by Obama and his acolytes, right? Whether it's Susan Rice or whether it's, Hakeem Jeffries, the extreme AOC. So I'm still trying to figure out, America, where's the outrage? And the only answer I have is the packaging is this soft, older veneer of people who've been there so long that they're almost petrified.
Yes.
What say you?
You know what? I think that you're absolutely right. That's why you had spot on. Think about it. You had all these hardcore left-wing candidates, right, for president. You had we'll just say Elizabeth Warren, okay?
Another one of my favorites.
She was
Pocahontas.
Pocahontas.
Sorry, I had to go there.
Was just as far left as Bernie Sanders. Kamala Harris was actually voted the most liberal member of the Senate. Okay, Bernie Sanders is in the Senate.
Wait,
and Kamala Harris
she's to the left of Bernie?
Was voted to the left of Bernie Sanders. So you had all these far left candidates running for president, and yet somehow the doddering old white guy is the one who won. I really do think that there was intentional deceit. And yes, I am making a strong claim here. I am not speculating. I believe that the DNC and the Democratic Party intentionally deceived Americans into believing that Joe Biden was going to be a moderate, knowing full well that when he got in there, he was going to bring all of the policies and opinions of the far radical left.
Okay. Wait a minute. I disagree with you, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
You're making an initial assumption that Joe Biden is actually running anything. I think Joe Biden is a moderate. I don't think he's running a damn thing.
But he's going along with all of it, and he's signing all the executive orders, and he's saying all the things, and doing all the stuff.
He's got more money than God now from China. What does he care? He has generational wealth, or I should say generational graft, right? From China, from the Ukraine. What does he care what happens to America? He's more than happy. He's going to go. Look, everyone's going to remember Joe Biden was president because he is president, whether I like it or not, or you like it or not. I don't think he's running a damn thing. I think Susan Rice is running it. This is the third term of Obama, and anybody who doesn't get that is asleep at the wheel. I
mean, or the one world order. We keep talking about that. All of these, you will own nothing and be happy, and then that's you've got the CEO of Chase coming out saying that we aren't doing enough for climate change, and the government needs to use eminent domain more. I mean, these people. I think like you're saying, like Obama, they do not care about Main Street. We talk about mainstream. They do not care about mainstream. They do not care about Main Street. If you were really worried about climate change, you would not buy oceanfront property. That's all I'm saying.
Right. So, by the way, you touched on the next, where's the outrage? So thank you for that segue, and you didn't even know we were going there. So that's how much you and we're connected.
We're like this.
We're like no, I thought Rachel Maddow and I were like this, but you and I could be like this. We just need to work at it more.
For the listeners, we're crossing our fingers and we're pointing at each other.
We're pointing at each other like you go girl,
you got this.
Exactly. So Jamie Dimon, the CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase, came out, as you referenced, and basically said that climate change is such a threat that the government should use eminent domain to take public property, folks, that's your home and mine, or your commercial property, or your business, and declare it in the public domain and take it over, which of course, so no, you're not going to get the market value for it. You're not going to get FMV, fair market value.
Nope.
And the thing that I find incredulous, again, not reported in the press, really, where's the outrage? But the thing that I find incredulous, besides the fact that Jamie Dimon didn't offer to give the government any of his properties, of course, it's only so it's OPM, other people's money. To OPM, we now must add OPP, other people's property.
Other peasants' property.
Other peasants' property. And so not only where's the outrage, but and then he was talking about what you just said, the New World Order, and I'm wondering, so if one of the lead capitalists or supposedly lead capitalist in this country, he is the chairman of J.P. Morgan Chase, comes out and condones using an eminent domain to take people's property, all in the name of the public good. I mean, where do we go from here? And folks, where's the outrage? I don't understand. Ericka, help me.
Robert, in addition to that, our friend, the CEO, has been indicted in the Virgin Islands due to his connections with who? Wait, who?
Oh, come on. Really?
Jeffrey Epstein. So the guy
what was he indicted for? I knew nothing about this. Folks, I am not omnipotent. What was he indicted for?
On the pedophilia stuff. So the Virgin Islands is going after the Jeffrey Epstein estate, and I'm trying to remember all the details, but Dimon has ties, and he is being indicted for connections with Jeffrey Epstein.
He's being indicted, or he's
been indicted.
I was going to say, being indicted is kind of pregnant, right? You either are or you're not. So you're either indicted or you're not. So he might be investigated, leading to an indictment. So where is that?
Benjamin, will you
bring
that article up for me? I had it up the other day, and I was like, what in the... Because, as an accountant, one of the things I get asked all the time is, where should I put my money? With all of the bank collapse earlier this year, the runs on the banks, all of the nonsense we got going on. Now we're basically going to have it's not mortgage-backed securities, but now you got the freaking Fed screwing with mortgages again and all this other crap. Okay, so you
do know that it won't be Fannie and Freddie this time, it'll be FHA, and we are going to head into another crisis, which, by the way, that whole housing thing, at the time when interest rates have doubled and tripled, right? Doubled and tripled, mortgage rates are up, home sales are now starting to plummet. So now we're going to increase the cost of mortgages for people at the time we can least afford it.
Yeah, we got the interest rates up.
Good going, Biden administration. That's really good thinking.
How hard is it? Again, it's hard not to think that this isn't intentional. Okay, so top bank executive for facilitating sex trafficking. Basically they're saying that the bank and Jamie Dimon helped facilitate the sex trafficking
because they've funded loans or something. I mean, what I mean, or is he personally? What I'm trying to understand
is,
was he
him. So he knew him personally. I believe it's that he knew him personally and knew of the allegations of sex trafficking and all of that other stuff, and then business continued. Moved to shift any legal blame for its business relationship with Jeffrey Epstein onto some other guy. So Jamie Dimon knew in 2008 that his billionaire client was a sex trafficker. Mimi Liu, I could be pronouncing that wrong, a lawyer from the U.S. Virgin Islands.
They will never get that to stick. Never. I'm sorry. They'll never get that to stick.
They'll never get it to stick, just like it seems like we're never going to find out who all those people who were his customers were.
Never. So
the benefits of being rich and famous, ladies and gentlemen, go stack that bread. That's all I'm saying.
Stack the bread?
Yeah, it's a expression.
Stack the bread. Okay. Okay. I know lots of expressions. I use too many of them. I'm not sure I understand the stack the bread thing, but I suspect we need to go to break and make a little money here. But folks, stay tuned.
Let's do it.
We're going to delve into AI next segment, artificial intelligence. It's not the end of the world, but this is some scary stuff. And if you're not familiar with it, you need to be. We'd love to hear your comments, the good, the bad, the ugly. you can always email me at robertc@acecfund.org. That's robertc@acekfund.org. Let us know what you think. Tired of seeing your rights stripped away by the politicians in Washington who don't care about you or me? Do you feel like a red dot in a pond of blue dots and feel disconnected? It's time to get connected. The American Center for Education and Knowledge is fighting back to restore America. Get connected. Go to acekfund.org. That's acekfund.org to learn more. Do it now.